So that looks pretty cool, right? Well, what you're seeing now took around 6 months to make. And it's not even done yet. This all started when I was scrolling YouTube one day, and I saw a video of Balatro's main theme, remixed to sound like it was made for the GBA. And that got me thinking, has anyone tried to make Balatro for the GBA? I mean, the game's pretty simple, right? 2D graphics, only a few moving objects, and hell, the whole game takes place on one screen. But when I checked, I couldn't find anything, so I thought, hey, how hard could it be? After all, I'd worked on a project in C for the GBA before, so I had a bit of experience. And Balatro isn't that complex. I figured I could probably finish this in a month. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. That shit did not take a month. So anyway, I opened up VS Code and set up DevKit Pro and got to work. My first goal was just to get some cards on the screen. I made some low-res versions of the Balatro cards to fit the GBA's small screen, loaded them into VRAM, and wrote some code to draw the sprites. And just like that, I had a row of cards appearing and running on real GBA hardware. This was a pretty big confidence boost with how quickly I managed to get it set up, and it further reinforced the idea that I could finish this in a month. There was an issue though. The GBA, being a console from 2001, doesn't have much VRAM, only 96 kilobytes. The problem was that I was loading 52 unique card sprites into VRAM, which used about 80% of my available memory. While concerning, it didn't directly stop me, so I just hoped it wouldn't become an issue later. With the card sprites set up, I needed them to actually move. In Balatro, the cards feel a little springy. You can drag them and they snap back into place with a bit of bounce. To add that to mine, I had to give them velocity. Velocity wasn't hard to do, I just made it so the cards had a target position to move toward, gradually building up speed in that direction. And it looked pretty good. The bounciness made everything feel a lot more lively. After adding the code to draw the cards though, something still felt off. In Balatro, when cards move around, they angle in the direction they're moving. Thankfully, the GBA supports that using affine sprites. Affine sprites can be rotated, scaled, and sheared. I modified the velocity code so the cards rotated in the direction they were moving, and now it was really starting to come together. I added a background so it wasn't just a black void anymore, and gave you the ability to select cards. Progress is moving fast. I added discarding, drawing new cards, UI text, card sorting, and a system for recognizing hand types. And then, I gave up. Yeah, I just dropped it right there. I lost motivation, and by then it had already been more than a month, so I moved on to other projects. A few months later though, a comment I'd left on that Balatro GBA remix video got some replies, and one of the people asked to see what I had made. Since I'd quit working on it and wasn't planning to do much else, I decided to make the repo public and post a short clip of my prototype. Surprisingly, the video started gaining traction and went from 1,000 views to 3,000 to 10,000, then 30,000, and eventually hit 60,000 views. After posting that video, I started getting a bunch of supportive comments, and that completely reignited my motivation. When I picked it back up, the things I had struggled with before felt effortless, and progress really started flowing. Remember that VRAM issue? Fixed by only loading the sprites that weren't actually in use. But that wasn't all. The video also brought more eyes to the repo, and with that came contributions. At first I was a little apprehensive. My past experiences with letting other people on a project hadn't been great so far, but this time, the help sped things up a lot. For example, one contributor, Meir, refactored the entire codebase and made a palette swapping system for the Jokers, added CI tests to the project, and was reviewing and integrating contributions. Green Ninja made all the Joker sprites and wrote most of the README, including the build instructions, while the theturtlemafia created most of the Joker logic. It was surreal having other people actively work on it. I even went on vacation for a week, and when I came back, there were way more Jokers, without me having done anything. Once the game was in a playable state, I decided to add a main menu just to make it feel more complete. And that brings us to where we are now. The project is still constantly getting updates, but it won't have as much content as the official game. If you'd like to contribute or try it out yourself, the link to the GitHub repository will be in the description. You might have to build it from source if a current build isn't available, but instructions are in the README. And that's it for now. I can say I definitely learned a lot, especially from Meir. He codes like someone who does programming as a job. But I'm going to step back from working on this since I have other projects I'd like to return to. Although I do plan to document more of what I'm doing in the future. Thanks for watching.